This was why Elizabeth didn't drink. In such a weakened state, her unhappiness swelled to unmanageable proportions, and the cap she kept on her emotions wouldn't stay put. She looked across the table at her best friend and knew she had to say something. She simply couldn't hold it all inside anymore. Her marriage was failing. Thinking it was hard. Saying it was almost unthinkable. They loved each other, she and Jack, but it was a feeling wrought mostly of habit. The passion had been gone for a long time. More and more often, it felt as if they were out of step, dancing to different pieces of music. He wanted sex in the morning, she wanted it at night. They compromised by going months without making love, and when they did finally reach out, their passion was as tired as their need. Still, they were the envy of their friends. Everyone pointed to them and said, "Look, a marriage that lasts." She and Jack were like the final exhibit in a museum that had been emptying for years. She couldn't possibly say all of that. Words had too much power. They had to be handled with fireproof gloves, or they'd burn you to the bone. "I'm not very happy lately, that's all." "What is it you want?" "It'll sound stupid." "I'm half drunk. Nothing will sound stupid." Elizabeth wished she could smile at that, but her heart was beating so hard she felt lightheaded. "I want who I used to be." "Oh, honey." Megan sighed heavily. "I don't suppose you've talked to Jack about this." "Every time we get close to talking about something that matters, I panic and say nothing's wrong. Afterward, I want to hit myself in the head with a ball-peen hammer." "I had no idea you were this unhappy." "That's the worst part of it. I'm not unhappy either." She slumped forward. Her elbows made the table rattle. "I'm just empty." "You're 45 years old, and your kids are gone, and your marriage has gone stale, and you want to start over. My practice is full of women like you." "Oh, good. I'm not only unhappy and overweight, I'm a cliché, too." "A cliché is just something that's commonly true. Do you want to leave him?" Elizabeth looked down at her hands, at the diamond ring she'd worn for 24 years. She wondered if she could even get it off. "I dream about leaving him, living alone." "And in those dreams you're happy and independent and free. When you wake up, you're lonely and lost again." "Yes." Megan leaned toward her. "Look, Bertie, women come into my office every day saying they're not happy. I write down the words that will tear their families apart and break a lot of hearts. And you know what? Most of them end up wishing they tried harder, loved better. They end up trading their homes, their savings, their lifestyle, for a 9-to-5 job and a stack of bills, while hubby dearest waits 10 seconds, then marries the salad bar girl at Hooters. So here's $1 million worth of advice from your best friend and divorce attorney. If you're empty, it's not Jack's fault or even his problem, and leaving him won't solve it. It's your job to make Elizabeth Shore happy." "I don't know how to do that anymore." "Oh, for Christ's sake, Bertie. Let's be martini honest here. You used to be a lot of things. Talented, independent, artistic, intellectual. In college, we all thought you'd end up being the next Georgia O'Keeffe. Now you organize every city fundraiser and decorate your house. I got a law degree in less time than it takes you to choose a fabric for this sofa. That's not fair. I'm a lawyer. Fair doesn't interest me." Her voice softened. "I also know that Jack's job has been hard on you. I know how much you wanted a place where you could put down roots." "You don't know," Elizabeth said. "We've lived in more than a dozen houses since we got married, in almost half that many cities. You've lived in Seattle forever. You don't know what it's like to always be the stranger in town, the new wife with no friends or resume of your own. Hell, you started college at 16 and still managed to fit in. I know I've let my house become an obsession, but it's because I belong in Echo Beach, Meg. Finally, for the first time since I was a child, I have a home, not a house, not a condo, not a place to rent for a year or two, a home." She realized she was practically yelling. Embarrassed, she lowered her voice. "I feel safe there. You can't understand that because you've never been afraid." Megan seemed to consider that. Then she said, "Okay, forget the house. How about this?